Friends beyond the binary, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and drinkers of the night water, it's time for a special late night vibe from Sleep With Me, the podcast that puts you to sleep. Hey, are you up all night tossing, turning, mind racing, trouble getting to sleep, trouble staying asleep? Well, then you may really appreciate Sleep With Me. Every episode of Sleep With Me is a bedtime story told from the creaky, dulcet tones of Scooter. And all you need to do is get in bed, turn out the lights, and press play, and Scooter does the rest. So usually there's a little bit of an intro like this. Scooter kind of explains the show. It's a little bit of allows you to do your wind down routine if you have one. And then he tells you a bedtime story. And Scooter has been a good friend of mine from the podcast world for a few years now. And I'm really excited that he made an entire episode of Sleep With Me about Nightwater. I don't want to sound too excited in case it ruins the sleepy vibes of this episode, but trust me when I say I'm excited. So what you're going to listen to is the bedtime story from Sleep With Me's most recent episode, and it's a really fun look at some Nightwater posts from the last year. And for me, it's a really entertaining listen when I'm awake. But for you, I hope it helps you fall asleep. Put this on, get a pair of headphones, some earbuds or something, and turn off the lights and see if Scooter can guide you to dreamland with this bedtime story. And if it does help you fall asleep, and it doesn't work for everybody, but and it might take a couple of tries to kind of get used to Scooter's bedtime stories. But if it does help you out, or the concept seems interesting to you at all, please do head over to sleepwithmepodcast.com. And you can subscribe. You can find and subscribe to Sleep With Me pretty much wherever you listen to podcasts. That's Apple Podcasts, that's Spotify, that's Amazon Podcasts, that's Google Podcasts, that's that's Overcast, that's Castro, that's Downcast, that's TuneIn, that's Stitcher. What did I say? I say Overcast. Let's see. Castbox, Podbean. Amazon Music is the name, not Amazon Podcast. Antennapod, Himalaya, did I say Stitcher? In any case, there's a ton, Luminary, there's a ton of podcast apps. Audible, you can find. Sleep With Me, I'm pretty sure it's pretty much anywhere you want to listen, you can find Sleep With Me. There are over 1,000 episodes. This is actually technically episode 1050. I believe, and I think there's even more on the Patreon as well. He has a Patreon set up, so there's really, if it really works for you, you'll pretty much never run out of bedtime stories as long as as long as Scooter keeps going for a little bit. So, I seem to be getting a signal. It seems like the signal's from a radio station. Let's tune in.
All right, hey everybody, Scoots here, and this is this episode coming up. It's a crossover kind of episode, kind of. It's a little bit different, and it'll be fun because it's something we haven't done before. So I'm really excited about it. It's a crossover with a project my friend Adam Cecil's been working on for a while. It's a newsletter. It's called Nightwater. You could sign up at nightwater.email. And Adam's been someone that's helped me out throughout the history of the podcast. I've worked with him in a lot of different capacities. But he's also been there to kind of walk me through stuff and listen to me and give me his guidance and wisdom. But beyond that is the Adam really has a taste and a sensibility that I think a lot of us share. He's into some cool stuff, and Nightwater kind of, I guess, represents that. So I guess without further ado, I'm going to send things off. If you get comfortable, you get cozy. If your eyes aren't closed, maybe you close your eyes and you picture me sitting there. And I'm tuning the dial on a radio. I'm tuning it in, and, the night air is a little bit thicker. And it's one of those wee hours, but I'm in a good place. I'm tuning the dial. I'm saying, oh, boy. I'm settling in. I'm getting excited. And there's a slight pause as you hear Scoots start winding down, and then you hear, welcome to SWQ, your radio all night long, Radio Nightwater. Tonight's show, like every show, a call-in from around the world. Right, your neighbors nearby may be calling in here at Radio NWQ. That's Nightwater. We used to have a W or a K, but then we went to the internet. They said that, the airwaves alone couldn't handle the questions we get at Nightwater. So now I'm handling it for you. We've got questions. You've got questions. We've got answers here at Radio Nightwater. Oh, boy, do I love saying Radio Nightwater. Nightwater, the only place water and radios mix at night or during the day. It's more of a figure of speech. And we've got a couple of questions here. Let's see. Here's the first question that came in. Radio Nightwater, what is the worst possible song you could include in a commercial for a place that rents out homes that you that you may rent, and that you may rent to use like you would a hotel room, but it's a home or an apartment or a condo? And I say, oh, boy, that reminds me, we did this research back in March of 2021. And because, a song you would say probably you shouldn't choose would be Forever Young. And maybe you even put it acoustically, but don't listen to the lyrics, because if you do, or you say, wasn't there a time Scoots said that, they say, let's not comment on the movie Forever Young because, yes, I saw the movie. Yes, it starred the great Julia Roberts. But it was a movie that I think I went to like as a third wheel. So that's why I have strong feelings about it. Not because of the quality of the film or the song, neither of which would be good to promote vacation homes. But because, it was probably one of my friends was on a date with someone that I had a crush on. And they said, why don't you come, since I asked you, since you were friends with her, but secretly in love with her, then I told you I liked her. And then she also, said that she liked me. Why don't you come along with us on our date? Wouldn't that be fun? And I'd say, okay. I guess so. Maybe it'll be like, so what movie are you going to see? Oh, it doesn't matter because you'll be sitting, can you sit like 2 seats away from us though? Because there may be face-to-face contact. You could sit 2 seats away. That way, okay. So you don't, could I pick? Oh, no, we're going to see Forever Young. It's a movie about something. I don't know. It's, they said it's a good one. She like, oh, okay. And it doesn't seem, I saw the commercial for it, though. Also, it's based on a song, I think. So that's the song you don't want to use. And you could read more about it at Nightwater. Other songs include Landslide, which, again, you'd say, okay, that's probably not one like you'd want. Whether it's it's definitely not a good idea. And another song you might not want to use is I Will Always Love You, whether it's Dolly Parton or Whitney. or whatever. You say, okay, does that, so yeah, but probably don't choose any of those. There's also some another one said, people said maybe they'll use Tears in Heaven next. So you should probably, here's the thing. I know it's tough. Here's something. And I don't know if, we looked into this, but it's like, just because you have the rights to use the song, or your boss said, we just got the rights to Forever Young for 80,000 times what we pay you a year to use in our commercial, you could say, did you already pay for them? Well, yeah, it's my favorite song. When I listen to it, I pretend I'm an airplane and I fly around. And that reminds me actually of the book I just finished. A really good book. I don't know why I'm laughing. There's literally nothing funny about it, but I don't know. I love reading. I love fiction. I love being on Radio Nightwater. And I love going off topic and making it about me. But I just read Ishiguro's book, Never Let Me Go, which is based on song lyrics. I don't know I never looked it up whether it was an imaginary song, a fictional song or not, and how music and dance, weird that I, anyway, so Radio Nightwater, we forgot where we were, but good book. I really highly recommend it. By the way, I haven't seen the film, and it probably won't. Just not because unless somebody else, unless you're out there, and I have a crush on you, and you also have a crush on the person I have a crush on, and you have a crush on my friend. I don't think that situation hopefully doesn't exist. Oh boy, now I'm thinking we could go see it if it was replaying it maybe to help me through a process. But I would probably say no. I'm not, the most healthy answer for me would be no, I don't think I'm going to go. Be honest, I guess I wouldn't say anything because I wouldn't want to ruin your budding romance. But I also don't want to sit next to you. And you say, Scoots, how many times has that happened to you? And I would say, no joke. Let's see, I could think 8th grade for sure. Probably, 6th grade, 8th grade. I can't recall it happened. 7th grade. No, okay. 7th grade, 8th grade. 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th for sure. I think it happened twice with Julia Roberts movies. Maybe there was another one, not a comedy one. So, anyway, right here at Radio Nightwater, answering your questions, getting them answered the best we can. Off topic at night. Okay, we got another one, and this one is interesting because you may hear more about Adam and I talking about this in the future. But what about hit clips? You remember hit clips? You don't remember them? Well, we'll tell you all about them. Once upon a time, our phones were not as smart as they find themselves to be, and you had to have separate devices. And I know some people out there, they still use separate devices for separate things. But they used to have, back then, they weren't even solid state. You've heard about my relationship with my iPod and Carole King and how she's her spiritual essence found its way to the algorithm in my iPod. But yeah, a lot of people had iPods. They were about the size of a deck of playing cards, or you had smaller ones, but let's just go with that one. And people would curate their music, or maybe you would share music. And people like Adam, who here in the station here at Radio Nightwater, making everything happen, used to even meticulously fill out the metadata fields. Old Scoots, he had that on his list, still on my list to do, is fill out those metadata fields. Some of them I did, and then I filled them out wrongly. So then I said, one day I'll do it. And we live in a world, at least when I'm recording this, where you could kind of listen, as long as you pay whatever, $9-10 a month, which is a pretty good deal. Maybe it's 15. I don't know. But you can listen to whatever you want for the most part. And the metadata's already there. But Adam points out to us, is that really your music? You know, there's a different connection. But oh boy, way back in the original aughts, the 00, that was when you could get your hits on a clip with hit clips. And I have a box of hit clips here. And is it exciting times? Now, some of you listening are from my generation, maybe even a generation before, maybe a generation a little bit after. So you had your records, you had your cassette tapes, you had your CDs. And somewhere during that transition, actually, Adam and I had a conversation about it. That's when hit clips appeared. Hit clips were tiny, keychain-sized cartridges. Millions of units sold before they were discontinued in 2004. Now, they could only contain 60 seconds of a song until Hit Clips disc came out in 2003, which was 120 seconds. They were in mono. And the earliest players were just like a piece of plastic with a reader, I guess an amplifier with just one headphone. Though at some point you could get a boombox. The earbud was wired permanently to the plastic body. And Adam even says that, that it was hard to connect from your, because it was supposed to clip to your belt. The hits clipped to the clip, the hit. But they did, it was like, as Adam once said, they make up for in personality. It was like a tiny record collection you could take with you anywhere. Like, you had 1,000 Miles, Survivor, Complicated. It looks like a little Avril Lavigne, not Lavigne, NSYNC, Britney. I think I have Don't Go Chasing Waterfalls here somewhere, or 60 seconds of it. Let's see. But yeah, once iPods appeared in the iPod Mini, that was when the hit clips started to move away. Times changed. And the hit clips player was $20, but the cartridges were $3.99, which, iTunes was selling songs at 99 cents. Now today, 70 million songs on Spotify cost $9.99 a month, which Adam did the math. It's pretty confusing. But, everybody has nostalgia about music, right? A lot of us have records. Some of us buy records and we never play them. That's Scoots. So you could get a hit clips player, listen to 60 seconds of Hero through a single earbud. You could even watch this video Adam has on Radio Night on the Nightwater. So yeah, it's a little bit about what was the question, Scoots? That's a great one. I don't know. I think it was whatever happened to hit clips or something. Oh, sorry. I didn't, how did people used to listen to music before Spotify? We answered it, hit clips, or other means, cassette tapes, CDs, but like portable. Those were, like the hit clips were way more portable than those things. Is there a cool way to let people know what kind of music I listen to? Maybe some sort of keychain contraption? Oh boy, talk about a contraption. That's hit clips here on Radio Night. Reminder, you're listening to Radio Nightwater. NWQ. You're tuned to Radio Nightwater on your radio dial. Another question came in about hit clips that we accidentally answered without asking it is, that you'll have to check the math using the link here for Radio Nightwater. That's NWQ. KNWQ. For now, we'll pretend we're K. I remember when I learned this in university. K means west of the Mississippi and W means east of the Mississippi. W. NWQ. I like that because it has double the W's. But only 25% water. 25% night, 25% water, 25% questions, and 25%, so you know where that night water is east of the Mississippi. WNWQ. Based on the monthly subscription cost, how much would the value of a single song be on Spotify? Well, look it up at Nightwater. All right, let's get into late night vibes. Questions about late night vibes always come up in the Nightwater. In the water, in the night. The fleeting frustrations of the diary writer. We're looking up night vibes, and this is NWC. What are late night vibes? Of course, let's start there. Here on Radio Nightwater. Oh, this is one. It's a water cooler here. And Adam says this is back in August of 2021. Trying to infuse Nightwater with more late night vibes. Cutting the late night vibes into thin slices and plopping them in a jug, pouring that pure filtered night water to soak up the vibes. So, night water readers, tell us about your night water vibes. Thomas says, night is dark and still. It's a great chance to make some time for oneself. What's so special about late night vibes for me, however, is it's a chance to really experience a film or piece of music. The distractions of the rest of the world are muted. No one's texting, no one's posting. This type of undivided attention is rare these days. Christine B. says, our senior night vibes are TV until 10 p.m., some time to read in bed, then lights out. Retirement night vibes are like that. Grant S. says, when everyone else in the apartment is asleep and you get the undivided attention of the cat, when all the other lights on your block are off, when you can watch, play, or listen to something you'd be embarrassed to in front of your partner. That's late night vibes. You can catch them here at Radio Nightwater. WNWQ, Radio Nightwater. Jim E. says, to me, late night vibes are rewatching Superbad by yourself on a Tuesday night. That movie really stands the test of time. Chloe comes in and says, it's not late per se, but already quiet, and the neighborhood is getting quieter. The cats have chosen the sleeping spots. The upstairs neighbors have finally stopped stomping around. Unidentifiable sounds in a creaky old apartment. The dishwasher, oh boy, that's a classic sound. Right here on Radio Nightwater, oh boy, the whirring of the dishwasher, erasing the remnants of today's meals. The same apartment across the street with its lights on deep into the night, peering out onto the street below. Owners hoping their dogs will pee one last time before morning. And finally, coming from what I believe is a patron saint of Radio Nightwater, Patrick. When I think about late night vibes, I think about mellowing out and having a session, enjoying a beverage, a snack, a YouTube video about Alexander the Great's failures in the East. Cool breeze, a car being way too loud down North Willard Street, bothering everyone on the block. A basil plant by the sink, the changing seasons, the rejection of that reality. I just want Steve Irwin back. Is time a trap or a spontaneous gift? 60 years in a history book is treated like a short period of time and a long process if you're lucky to live in a time of greatness. Or at least an overture to one coming. 60 years is nothing to the history book. How do we make terms with everything we need to do in that time? How long could that possibly be enough? And yet every night I vibe. And Adam calls it back, and yet every night I vibe. And oh boy, Patrick, you might be the patron saint of Sleep With Me listeners' brains, because that sounds like a late night vibe here. Around Sleep With Me. So we hope that answers your question. What are late night vibes here on Radio Nightwater? Nightwater. NWQ. Radio Nightwater. Oh boy. You know, this is one of the articles that really got me hooked on night water, and I'm not even kidding. I remember reading this. It was the summer of 2021. And I felt like I could see straight into Adam's soul. Because when you're talking compost, you're talking night water. Not all of this, you know, there's some of this is loamy content for a sleep podcast, and some of it's just loamy for compost. So we'll stick to it. But Adam writes an opening paragraph that's a better fit for the daytime, or a night with the creaky floors and a dog nearby. And an interesting novel, but then he goes into talking about his fascination with being in Vermont and watching the food and newspaper and cardboard and grass clippings all become dirt. You know, Vermont led the way, as it does with a lot of things, about putting food scraps in the trash, meaning you had to compost them at home or bring them to drop-off points around the states. Sounds familiar here in California. And his parents got a large black plastic cube for the backyard, which was slowly filling with food scraps and other compostable materials. And not long ago, Adam and Chloe were up there in Vermont tending is loam. I love saying loamy, so I keep saying it. Oh, boy. Finoni phone, I'm a loamy loam. Oh, give me a home where in loam I can roam. And maybe I'll even write a cone. And where, you know, like, a cone for my loam. Okay, so digging coffee grounds out of K-cups to add the nitrogen. Torn up newspapers. Even though newspapers are harder and harder to find for the carbon, caterpillars have been in the cube, getting ready to become moths. And they even checked the compost thermometer in a long, elongated metal rod that looks like it fell down the earth from a giant's barbecue. And it was a steady 90 degrees Fahrenheit, but Adam needed it active where the bacteria thrives, but not too hot. Because if the bacteria is too hot, bacty, your bacteria is going to run away, baby. So delicate silence to get that nitrogen-rich green materials, carbon-rich brown, aeration, moistness. Oh boy. Oh boy, does talking compost look good on you, baby. Get one of these off and you'll stray further and further from the active past. But back in New York, Adam still looks at it and says, I could be composting this thing when it goes in the trash. You know, times changed in the 2020, 2021, 2022. Will compost return to the home of WNWQ. Wait, WNWQ. Maybe you could stick a thermometer right in the center of the city. Oh boy, I feel like I'm watching a noir film now. And that's how the opening paragraph went as well. And discover we've gone from steady to active to virgin on hot. Verging. It's not hard to feel like we're just living on the top, with things piled on the sidewalk for hours, waiting for pickup in the heat. Oh boy, in the summer. It's not easy. But glass, as Adam posited, he broke a glass that was once a wedding gift to his parents. And the glass, made up of natural materials but not compostable, has to get to 1,000 degrees Fahrenheit. It'll take over 1 million years to break down naturally. It'll be there for a while. Who knows? When a compost pile gets too hot, though, here's the last tip. You can split it and spray water on it in hopes of cooling it down. But what else? What else can you do, we ask? Well, we could ask some more questions here on WNWQ. It's Radio Night Water. Let's see here. Well, this is another one, and was this the first article at Nightwater? Oh boy, is this one. Now, Adam and I have talked about visiting this place in person, but some really good-looking guy from Disney or Nickelodeon got there first. But this was back, Valentine's Day. Oh, wait, does anybody know? Don't let me know, because it'll be too late. Is Valentine's Day in February, or it's in February 12th? I always get February 12th and 14th mixed up. Not a problem for me, because it doesn't matter anyway. My Valentine's, my laundry. But this was a great article, Classic W, NWQ. If you check out one article based on my, check this one out too. Check out two. And I may just read through this one here because it's so good. This is a classic Nightwater, Babyland General Gazette. And I guess I'll paraphrase too, but Adam came up with about a dozen possible names for the newsletter before settling on Nightwater. And one of them was the Babyland General Gazette. Babyland General Hospital, if you didn't already know it. I wonder when this is going to come out, because I'm like but this is interesting a little bit. I got to make it about me, because it's just that's where my tangents come from. So we're working on Spice Friends, episode 7, and that has a Cabbage Patch situation in it. Not someone doing the Cabbage Patch. So hopefully this is like some sort of a great synchronicity. I didn't even realize it. So I love it when a plan comes together, as somebody once said. Okay, so if you don't already know it, Babyland General is where Cabbage Patch Kids are born, both literally and metaphorically. It's also a mecca for Cabbage Patch Kids fans. And Adam even included a picture from the Cabbage Patch Kids website, a masterpiece. It is both, the picture is interesting. I wanted to say it was surreal, but there's no surreality to it. On the right side it looks like it's a combination of photograph, computerized art, paper art, and hand-drawn art, which is also strange. And also layers of photographs. So the far background in the entire photo is like speaking of Lomi, like a rich area, very green, but it verdant, but it looks like it's like a few different ecosystems. Like some of it looks near tropical, and some of it looks like the southern United States. There's also a rolling hill of Cabbage Patch on the right, and a stork that's carrying a baby, just like a stork. The stork looks computer generated and kind of unreal. It's also being lit from below. And I can't tell if it's the stork's head. It maybe have some sort of other being riding on the back of it. A different kind of, I don't know, is this a pastiche of different green hills? Dominating the center background is a gigantic tree. And I don't know anything about Cabbage Patch lore. Hopefully we'll learn more here. Is a gigantic tree, like a very thick tree. The tree has leaves, but it also has I don't even know, a combination of Christmas decorations, Christmas lights, some of which are on, and then figurines that don't seem to have anything to do with Cabbage Patches, or they could be living beings. I have no idea. Look like rabbits. Bizarre. Then in the center of the photo is a nurse who looks like someone you might see on an anthology TV show about a zone that happens at twilight. She has a look on her face like she's on one of those, that show that's zoning out at twilight. And she says, I've awoken in this photo. I'm a nurse holding a Cabbage Patch newborn who's looking, both of them are looking straight at the camera. To the right of the baby Cabbage Patch newborn is what looks like, and I'm trying to figure out a way to describe this, an emerald fluid in a something you'd see when you go, like in a thing, like a capsule that's used to deliver the fluid to people who need it. Through, then there's a hose coming from and it's like not just emerald, it's like the color, not like the color of an emerald gem. It's even sparkling. And below that is a Cabbage Patch of Cabbage Patch babies, some of which are frowning, or all of them are frowning. And there's probably, well, let's just count here. I mean, it won't be accurate because I'm not, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 16, 17, 18, at least 21. Oh, no, there's more on the sides. Like somewhere around 25 to 30. One, it looks like she may have plucked the baby she's holding from an empty Cabbage Patch or cabbage, whatever, to her right. And there's a lot of kids, like the instead of a cabbage, there's the head of a child, which well, let's read more, because the more time we spent this picture, the further off the rails it goes. Here on Radio Nightwater, WNWQ, your late night vibes, coming in confusing. I forgot, I think we were supposed to answer a question, and we're answering it, but we'll get the question later, or I forgot what it was. One question would be, how'd you get the name Nightwater? And two, what, like, really, are you serious? After we answer this, that'd probably be the question. So Babyland General is a flagship store of for the Cabbage Patch Kids. It's a once popular brand of babies' dolls. Kind of happened just before Scoots' time, or I existed then, but 1983. There's also a Black Friday. The Star Kid musicals also satirizes it, I would say. I watched that this holiday season. The 1996 Arnold Schwarzenegger film Jingle All the Way. And then, Black Friday with, and then a certain episode of Spice Friends 7, maybe. Hasn't been recorded yet, but, there's a fervor around these, acquiring these dolls. And while the dolls, according to Adam, no longer inspire that same fervor, they do still have plenty of rabid fans. The hospital pre-2020 restrictions saw 250,000 people every year. And Adam first found out about this doing an old job researching roadside attractions, and he was fascinated and haunted by what he saw. The employees of Babyland General cosplay as medical professionals. The centerpiece of the hospital is Mother Cabbage, a 12-foot, this must be the tree, 12-foot tall artificial tree from which all Cabbage Patch Kids are supposedly born, and from which a lucky few hand-sewn Cabbage Patch children are actually born. And Adam points out Angela Garbez's essay, The Babyland Diaries, which talks about how it plays out. And apparently this is a chain, largely unchanged since the 1980s when the New York Times described it. And it gets in, it's very bizarre, and not exactly sensitive to everyone's situation because of the just a really strange and surreal stuff you got to read about. So very, very strange intersection of commerce and fandom that Adam says, I'd love to see it and witness it with my own eyes. Mother Cabbage giving birth, like the GW Zoo before Tiger King. is it's very 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 interesting. In the primordial soup of my notes on this newsletter, I played around with including some of my favorite elements from my local alt weekly growing up: back page ads, horoscopes, mediocre comics. But what better place for a newspaper to come from than Babyland General Hospital, an alternative reality unto itself? The aforementioned New York Times piece ends with this kicker. I like Babyland General, said Nurse Gina, because you can come in here and get completely away from New York, the world, and the planet, said an onlooker, completing her sentence. And Adam says, I don't think this newsletter will quite succeed in teleporting you to another planet, but I hope you enjoy it. And I'd have to agree with that. Here on Radio Nightwater, WNQW. We'll be back with another question after this break. All right, everybody, thanks for tuning in to WNWQ. It's time for a fake sponsor spot here at NWQ. We're proudly supported by me misclicking a link and then clicking the guided access here. And WNWQ. You know what I was asking here on WNWQ? We're proudly sponsored by talking about stuff at night. And how about Pokemon? Now you may miss this in March of 2021. There's no better time to read it again. Because Adam points out, there's messages in documentary films that, all of us could be susceptible, especially if they're taking us on an emotional journey. And Adam was particularly influenced by a particular film about a particular fast food place with golden arches back when they used to say, and I guess I think about this, you could say it in an empowering way. You felt empowered to size it up, yo. And that film talked about a lot about it, processed all the stuff going on at the Golden Arches and so much more. Now, Adam and Chloe were talking about years later going vegan. And another documentary called The Game Changers. They did a vegan January, and when January ended, they did not stop. And Adam talks about how, hey, this change, thought I would miss it, meat, cheese, eggs, but what I thought was more than it really is. But also the ideas around TV and advertising. And then Adam's result, another emotional journey, just like a documentary here at WNWQ. Is that right? W Nightwater Questions, yeah. Because Adam was talking about that Pokemon Happy Meal. The meal that makes Pokemon happy or Adam happy. The 4-pack, maybe the 6-pack. Oh, no, it came with a 4-pack of collectible Pokemon cards. The past weekend when Adam wrote this in March was the 25th anniversary of Pokemon. Kicked off in Japan in 1996 with the first set of Game Boy games. Since then, it's spawned anime, TV, film series, manga, trading card game, gadgets, toys, clothing, and 8 generations of core video game series. 3 million in jet aircraft sales. It's today's highest grossing media franchise. Now, what's Pokemon's? I forgot I was supposed to ask questions about this. Adam, what do you think Pokemon's staying power comes from? Well, maybe it's its lasting appeal, he says, to children and adults. While the primary audience will always be kids, Pokemon is carefully dealt in nostalgia, common theme at night with Nightwater. Oh, that nostalgia. If there's a nostalgia picture, it's probably fit for the evening, right? It probably does have, you know, it has, if there's a nostalgia filter, better have late night vibes. You know what I'm saying, Patrick? Am I right? Maybe not, because I rarely am. But then, let's see. Now I got off track. As early as 2004, when it remade the original Game Boy games in the third generation consoles. Remakes are a major feature of the Pokemon video franchise. A remake of the fourth generation games was just announced as part of the 25th anniversary celebration. You know where else we see Pokemon? What I used to like, I think this all the way back. What year was Adam talking about? 2004. Let's check these dates. 1996. I think that was one of my go-to things back when it was Pokemon versus Digimon. It was kind of like Transformers and the GoBots for me. I mean, I always said, why can't you like them both? But I used to try to win over, that's how I'd win over children of that generation. See, tell me, what do you prefer, Pokemon or Digimon? Digimon, because I could say Digimon may have had a better tagline. Digimon Mondos, or whatever they were called in the show. What was my point? I got way off topic. Oh, I was thinking of, the whole reason I came up is because I was thinking of the Pokemon balloons. Pokemon balloon, the different ones on, was at the Macy's parade. But Adam said, unsurprisingly, the vast age range of fans leads to some tension. I don't know if you knew this, but Post Malone, before Post Malone was slinging, I don't know what it is, like something, a cool lifestyle. I say, what's Post Malone doing? Getting people are following him around. I wish, he's like a Pied Piper. And first he was pieing his pipes, not first, but at one point there was a 25th anniversary concert in the Pokemon community. Oh, a virtual Pokemon concert. But let's get back to talking about those meals of happiness, right? Because what could go wrong with limited edition collectible Pokemon cards and Happy Meals? Well, lots. Sealed boxes of cards on eBay. Not even going to stores. Collectors, Twitch streamers, mass purchasing meals, selling out locations. The kids not getting them. No, that's not happy. And to add insult to injury, they don't even respect the fact that there's food there. Now, there's nothing wrong, Adam says, with adults collecting toys or cards, but it's frustrating to watch them act as if they're entitled to have them. And he's saying that, of course, because he likes Pokemon cards. Oh, boy. And while vegetarian and vegan options are proliferating in chain restaurants, here's the thing. McDonald's does not have any non-meat options for Happy Meals. Ronald. What do you do? Seriously, Ronald, get it together, man. The best they can do is a bag of apple slices. So what were his options? He could get the Happy Meal and toss the food, but he wasn't happy with that. Troll eBay and support the people who are doing that. He asked a friend, maybe a friend could help me. If you're thinking about getting some nuggets, grab me a pack. But Adam felt like he was losing the battle. And then who came in but Mama? And Mom said, maybe I got to get a Happy Meal. And the Happy Meal box looked like it's a cute little Pokemon. Has no more the Pokemon can fight. 2 packs of Pokemon cards to the winner. So, Adam 1, Adam 2, or 4, 2, 8 technically, I guess. 8 Pokemon cards. Adam 8, McDonald's, whatever. I don't know, whatever they say. They used to say that. They got so many people served. All right, it's getting to the end of our broadcast night here on NQW. So maybe we got to talk a little bit more about late night vibes. I think wait a second. There's could the property boat? How big is it? Well, boy, we got to go back. We'll hold off on our close here because I didn't even see. I missed this article when it came out. How big's the Property Brothers media empire, Adam? This is as I've said, this is one of the shows I watch on an airplane. It's a Shark Tank or Shark Tank-like shows, Property Brothers type shows. I will watch them on someone else's screen, not on mine, on an airplane. That's just, I don't know. It's like I actually enjoy it. I'll probably be editing a podcast, watching Property Brothers or Fix That House or whatever on mute. I say, hey, do you mind putting the closed captioning on? I'm in seat like whatever, 24, seat 22, 21, 21A. Could you put on the closed captioning? But they never listen because, but it doesn't matter. I could figure it out usually. I was thinking of this one I saw, and actually I had to ask the person about it because they said, what's going, like, I don't know what it was. It was like, I think a family of people fixing up a house, and it was popular. But anyway, Property Brothers should host a dating show. This is from September 2021. Adam became a big, when things were going on, 2020, 2021, Adam became a big fan of the Bachelor franchise. This wasn't his first time watching a dating show. He used to watch reruns of The Dating Game on Game Show Network. But Bachelor, The Bachelor's fascinating in a different way. Now, this is a show I don't watch. I think I've tried to watch it, but I have too many, I don't know how to watch it because they either would have... it's too far into inferior or, I say, well, am I inferior or superior? Am I going to make fun of people or am I going to feel poor? So I say, let's just not watch it. But The Bachelor's fascinating in a different way. Yeah, there's game, winners and losers, but almost everything on the show is pretending that the game does not exist. And that takes some mental gymnastics to be successful on the show. And that's impressive as the Olympics. And recently, The Bachelor's been looking for a new host. And Adam said, recruit the Property Brothers. Heck, give them a dating show. So Jonathan and Drew Scott, from here on, Adam will refer to them collectively as Property Brothers, a pair of television personalities who play act at buying and renovating homes for regular people. Now, it's obvious that their ambitions are much bigger than their namesake show on HGTV. There's 11 shows. So probably one of the ones I'm talking about in the Property Brother franchise, as well as books, a podcast, even a cruise. Really, a cruise? Maybe Adam and I could go to the, we could stop at the Cabbage Patch on our way to the Property Brothers cruise. Won't you take me on a Property Brothers sea cruise? Never been on a cruise still. I don't know if it would be a good idea to go on a Property Brothers cruise first. Or if you're a fan, do you say you're a property bro? You say, yo, man, I'm a property bro. I'm a Drew too, man. Are they twins or brothers? I don't know. But, the Property Brothers even have mentioned wanting to host a daytime talk show, but to me, that's child's play. Do The Bachelor. Can't compete, Adam says. A single season of The Bachelor brings in almost $100 million in ad revenue. I think maybe I'm wrong, but it's entire revenue of podcasting, of every podcast in existence, or even if it's, I guess it's 1/10 of every podcast. Of every podcast out there. Anyway, what would Property Brothers dating show look like? Here's some listen up, Hollywood, or wherever the Property Brothers are based. There's a casual one and a business one, like Alex P. Keaton. So when I'm looking at the mock-up Adam had with the two property brothers, one of them looks a lot like my cousin, the casual one. I don't know if that's Drew or Tyler. Oh, Jonathan. Jonathan and Drew. Okay, but let's drop some concepts. How about the homeowner's dating game? A homeowner must choose between 3 suitors. All of whom, oh, this is good stuff. All of whom will briefly redesign one of the rooms in the home. The suitor who does the best job according to the brief. This is a very dating game, as judged by the property brothers with the homeowner, wins the dates. The homeowner gets 3 renovated rooms. How about 1 and 2? Kind of like the show where you're in your birthday suit and dating. Renovating and a little bit thinking about stuff and not feeling comfortable. 2 individuals, leave their lives and go on a series of dates with one another while living in a house they're renovating with the property brothers. If they successfully renovate the house, they split the final sale of the house 50-50, even if the romantic relationship does not work out. But if either one of them leaves the house unable to take cooperation on a high stakes renovation while dating, they get nothing. This could be good if they I think if they have to have a date every night. That could be also we could get some science, different areas to study that. Because you say, okay, first of all, I got to work all day. I think the property brothers, it would be good, too, if they lived there. Or maybe there'd be also a documentary. You get a documentary, because I'm not judging the property brothers, but if they would probably leave the house and stay in one of the 5-star hotels, whatever town they were in. It's pretty common in any ride or whatever you call it, to hire somebody like that. So they'd be saying, let's just say 4 seasons, right? It'd be interesting to follow them. And it's not a judgment on them. It's just usually contractually. Somebody be like me, I'd be fighting for a Hyatt, right? But they're at that level. Like they say, okay, that's right. That's what we'd be like, just build it into the budget, basically. So either way, but if you leave, you don't get anything. That'd be a nice boost. And that would be good they could even, that would could be one not as big as The Bachelor. I think Adam's that's a viable idea. And that's more of no offense, but that's a HGTV idea. Trading loving spaces. So boy. Okay, so a couple who's been dating for less than a year and don't live together swap houses and with the help of the property brothers transform the bedroom in 2 days. But the homeowner does not get a say in the redesign. And it's up to their partner to know their taste, and the property brothers keep it PG-13, when Adam says. So that would be interesting. I also think it would be good. It'd be cool because you could, they could do, the cold open could be the person's reaction, like some of their reactions, like you could edit it really interestingly. And because you could ask them, I guess you could set up like what they're wearing during the Talking Heads interviews or whatever you want to call it. What do they used to call it when I was an intern? SOT, sound on tape, I think. So you get them talking, and then you don't know what the interview is coming from. If it's coming from before they renovated the house, after, or during, or which house it's even referring to. Now, if anybody wants to reach out to Adam, it's at nightwater.email. Use the link in our show notes. Possibilities for property brothers dating shows are endless. And their charming personalities will bring any concept to life. Anybody need any hosting tips? Zoe Deschanel's the host of the celebrity dating game. And in a relationship with Jonathan, one of the property brothers. So, yeah, let us know. Warner Bros., Discover, Property Bros., Scott Brothers Global. Interested in these concepts? Adam's ready, man. Okay, let's close it out here on our broadcast day extended into, let's see. Okay, let's talk about it. When your pumpkin's out, let's finish up with some late night vibes. This question came in from Adam. What goes on the night before Halloween, and what did you call it in your hometown? I guess this is from Adam out to the world, though. This is an NWQC night water cooler. We didn't get a lot of answers here, so this will give you a chance to interact, to show some love, some night water love. The night before Halloween, whatever you want to call it, what's the vibe? Does the sun set before dinner? Are cold winds running down the street? TP, hanging on the trees? And alternatively, if you don't celebrate the night before the Halloween, what's your Halloween night vibe? Now, Thomas B. said, my Halloween vibe is trying to explain my costume to my friends over the music on the dance floor. That's good stuff. And Dylan said, TP on the trees and omelets all over town. Now, I got to agree. The vibe, I think, is, for me, is wind. It's cold, but it's not brisk. There's enough wind to move the leaves down the center of the streets. And that's when, if it's a late night vibe, that's when the TP looks good. Dogs barking. Maybe you're hearing somebody warming up their sound effects from the night before. And I don't know, what about the night after Halloween? When you're walking your dog, here's the thing. At least where I live, you got to keep your eyes open because there's usually candy that I guess it was dark. Kids are getting in and out of cars. And so we have a lot of stray candy that has been forgotten, and that doesn't blow around like the candy doesn't blow around like it used to. But yeah, I'm trying to think of mine is hunkering down, lying low. Just because back in my other life, I had some Halloweens. I prefer never to, but it's cute. It's just too busy for me. I'm trying to think what I did for this Halloween. I guess probably went to, I don't know what I did. I know I didn't do much. And nobody comes to my house. Oh, you know what? I had something. I can't remember anymore, but I do know the vibe I feel. I like it, the quiet time, but something else is still going on. So it's like maybe the quiet's interrupted by some teens racing in a car, dealing in pumpkins, and in a way that could be frustrating, or eggs, if you're frustrated by those things. But it's the 1 or 2 nights of the year where you say, oh boy, if it's just eggs and TP and a pumpkin that's, or jack-o'-lantern that's lost its way, as long as the wind's blowing and the leaves are scraping, that's all we need to know. So that's it tonight for tonight's broadcast. What is a W? NWQ, Night Water Radio. To find out more, make sure to post some of your night vibes, night water vibes, and the night water cooler. Does it say water cooler choice? I already closed it down the page. Check it out, and hopefully we'll do another one of these again because we got more water. There's more to drink, more night water. Maybe I shouldn't drink night water. Here. Saying goodnight from the WNQW Q Studios, radio, night water. Good night.